Welcome welcome back to Goodwaterpickers. My name is Andrew. If you have ever wondered how to do variations or multiple items on an eBay listing, specifically with sports cards, stay right here. And that's what I'm about to show you. All right, to demonstrate how to do this, I'm going to do a sell similar from my own listing. So you start a variation listing the same way that you do any listing. You want to go out and find someone that has a lot of sold cards. So I have 222 cards sold. Some people will be in the 1200s. Like card shops sell a lot. And quick demo here. By variation listing, I'm talking about when you go to buy a sports card and you see a listing, you click the drop down box and it has the entire set or a lot of cards listed in numerical order. For a buyer, you can put up to, you click a card and then click add to cart. You can add up to 40 cards at one time into your shopping cart and buy them all at the same time. For a seller, when that happens, it's the most beautiful sound in the world when 40 sports cards get all one individual cha-ching. It'll wake you up at night and you'll smile. So I'm going to click sell now. Again, I'm using the desktop version. That's the best way, and I'm pretty sure the only way. I mean, you can pull the desktop version from your computer on your phone or tablet, but you have to use the desktop version to do a variation listing. You can't do it on the cell phone. My computer's running a little slow today. I'm rural area and it's stormy. We'll try to get through this. So it copies, like any listing, it copies the base information. As you can see here, you have the item description. You may have a way you like to do your descriptions. On mine, I'll put you pick. If I have space, I'll put complete your set. On some sets, I'll add inserts and I'll put, maybe like parallels and stuff all in one set if I don't have a lot of cards. So I may put base cards, insert, parallel, short print, like anything else, you just want that title to include a lot of different things. You have your custom SKU. For me, it's CH1. That's Card House 1. I keep all of my cards in card houses. Now, your item specifics, just like any other card. Um, if you're doing a single card, it's all the same item specifics. There's two things I'll point out that are a little bit different, and this is to help you generate views. You notice my player and athlete field. It says I can generate up to 44.5 million searches. So how did I get my number that high? You can add up to 10 player names in this box. All right, if my computer won't freeze. Here we go. It didn't like my empty UPC field. That's what happened. All right, so I have basically the top players either historically or for the set. Avoid adding a player name that's not in the set at all. But like Aaron Judge, Bryce Harper, Frank Thomas, Juan Soto, Mike Trout, Pete Alonso, Yadier Molina. Those are kind of a gimme. Then I have three of the top rookies: Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, Michael Harris Jr. Those are going to generate the most traffic. And then the next space where I do the same thing is the team names. I can add up the 10 team names, which I have here, and it says I'll generate up to 6 million searches. So Arizona Diamondbacks, Braves, Red Sox, Marlins, Astros, Angels, Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Cardinals, whoever else you want to add. Excuse me. And then the rest of the details you fill out the same way that you always would. Now, the next piece is the item variations. Um, as long as you click the sell similar on on a type of this type of listing that's already been created, this will pop up. Um, the variations screens, when you go into edit, will have two different levels. So I'm going to click on this first edit screen. The first screen that you get to, when you go in to create the first time, there's probably no variations in there. So you have to add first, you add your attribute, which is basically what you'll see on the drop down box, like what the buyer will see. You're naming that drop down box, so you want it to kind of you want it to say what is in the what's in the drop down, what type of items you have. So if it's shoes, you might put the type of shoe. If you get if you buy a pallet and you get 60 pair of the same shoe, you may put that shoe, and then your variations might be the sizes. But for cards, I click add your own attribute, and then I'm going to write 2023 Stadium Club cards. Avoid entering number signs. You don't want to put like card number. Don't do number signs. Don't do periods. Don't put any hyphens in there. Just a clear title. I give the same advice on any other listing too. Keep all those punctuation marks and crap and emojis. Don't put those in your line. All that's going to do is screw up your listing views because no one's searching for an emoji. Or and then the other thing is, from a IT standpoint, if I write my name Andrew hyphen, no one's searching for Andrew hyphen. Like from an IT standpoint, hyphens and um, punctuations, it includes it as part of the person you're searching, so it could always mess up your search. Now, before you've decided to create the listing, you need to go ahead and have the cards you're going to enter in numerical order. You want to go ahead and take the pictures of the cards, get them pulled from your phone into your computer or device in a folder in numerical order. That's going to help us downstream. Then from here, so you've got your attribute title, and then below that are the options, which is where you're going to enter each individual card in numerical order. You want it in numerical order because set collectors need to have the ease of search to be able to search out in order. You don't want them to say, oh, I need card number 123, and then the next one's card number 50, and then 200, and then, well, crap, where do I find number 4? So remember, numerical order is important. So the first card, Joe Musgrave, Musgrove. So I entered a card number. Still no pound sign. You don't need a number sign. This is limited space too, so you don't want too much extra stuff. And then I'm going to put the team name, San Diego Padres. If you ever can't enter or you don't have enough space, like when you get into parallels and inserts, you have to enter like the name of the insert set here. You may enter a color if it's a foil or a prism. If it's a short print, you may put SP. And you might enter like hyphen 299, which is okay to have a hyphen there because that's how people search for serial numbered cards. But from here, it's just the player's card number and name. The next one, number 199, Aaron Nola. Picked all the long team names. Philadelphia Phillies. All right. Number 297, Jacob DeGrom. I go ahead and enter Jacob. I don't write Jake. You don't use nicknames. People don't typically search for that. Now, here's a tip for Jake DeGrom. He was traded to the Rangers last year, got hurt, didn't play a lot, but he is famous for, or he got his fame. He grew up with the Mets, So when you have a player who, is semi-famous on one team and moves late in their career, the way I do it, and a lot of this is for views to make, for people that are searching it, I'm going to write Texas Rangers, and because I have room, I'm going to come out beside and put Mets. Because, Mets fans still love some DeGrom. All right, and then next card, 274, Joe Meyer, Minnesota Twins. Now, if you caught on, I entered these out of order, but I did that on purpose, and I'll show you why. If you enter a card out of order by mistake and you just save it and move on, it will show up out of order for the buyer on that final product when they're trying to buy from your listing. So the way you can prevent that is on the right hand side, after you've entered the cards, you can drag them by holding that click down. So hold left click, you have your hand, look, it even grabbed it. Isn't that cute? You have the hand and you can move it into the correct spot. There's another place where this is significant. So I'm building a big old lot of 5 Stadium Club cards. I'm listing it, they're selling. Next week, I get 2 more boxes that I find in the back shelf of a Target, and I open them up, and I find another 15 cards that I want to sell, and maybe I got card 1 through 5. When you go to revise this listing, you can add new variations at any time up to the variation limits, which I'll tell you in a minute. When you add new variations here, they by default drop to the bottom, and you have to drag them into numerical order so that you have them in the right spot. So that's important. All right, so once you have your cards here numbered and in order, you will go ahead and continue. And then when you continue, it's going to take you back to the second level of the screen. Now, where this is significant is when you come back to edit, you're going to see this screen first. And then up at the top is where you would add new attributes. All right. So on this screen, the first piece, photos, this photo box here is your default photo. This is where you want to add the photo that's going to show up as your listing's main or primary photo. And for me, I like to create my own in Canva using a few pictures of the card. Some people will just use a picture of one card of maybe their favorite player. I like to go a little further than that and actually build something out. It doesn't take long to do. Canva is a free site. eBay promotes Canva's free access. Of course, there are things in there that you want to buy, but I rarely have to spend it. I don't think I've ever spent more than $1 or $2. But here I've added, Willie Mays, Tatis Jr., Mike Trout, picture of those cards, condensed, and then a title, 2023 Stadium Club. That's a little bit flashier. That's what people are going to see. And then you have this drop-down box here where it says Add Variation Photos. It's going to be set to use default. And if you keep it there, it'll use this photo for every single player's photo. I don't recommend that. You want to have a picture of the player's card next to every player. When they select it out of the drop-down menu, you want a picture of that player or that card. So change it from default photos to your attribute title name. And when you do that, this bottom screen will change, and it'll then have a list of the player, and you can put up to 12 photos for each player. I use one photo. In the past, I've tried to use front and back and all that. I've seen no credible difference in my sales from doing that. Now, again, I said I have all the pictures already taken and in numerical order for my players. So you just and it for me it defaults to the folder that I have them saved in. If it's your first time, you will have to have a folder. I have a folder on my desktop that's just for baseball photos, baseball cards. Aaron Nola, Joe Meyer. Couple other tips while I'm adding these. If you have made multiple edits or updates, so if you've gone in and revised the listing and added more cards multiple times, one thing that'll be different when you go to this screen, the second middle tier screen, these cards in the list will be out of order. They'll be in the order of your entries or your edits. So it may have like 1 through 20 because the first time you build it, you entered the first 20 cards in the set, but maybe some were missing, right? Then if the second time you edited it, you added card numbers like 4, 6, 3, then you come in and look, these will be out of order. But every time that you go in to edit and add cards, then when you get back to this screen, after you save that edit screen where you've added cards, then they'll be in order again. The reason that's significant is sometimes you don't have to add cards, you have to add quantity. If you're changing the quantity, you do all that down here on the second screen. So let's say you come in and you open some packs, and I get another Musgrove, another Nola. Those may be out of order. You might have to find them. But as long as you add a new card and you come back out to this screen, they'll be in order. That'll make more sense to you when you've tried it on your own. All right, now these cards are just 99-cent cards for the most part. DeGrom is a little bit of a star player at the moment. Nola's on the fence. If he's your favorite player, I apologize, but from a sales standpoint, probably not going to pull more than 99 cents. All right, now my cards are entered. This is where I would enter my quantity if I had more than one quantity of each card, and then the price. Now let's talk limits. Up here in the edit, for this type of listing, you can have up to 250 individual cards listed. So you can have 250 card numbers. All right. And then at the bottom for quantity, you can double that as your total quantity of all cards combined. That's important because if you're not going to have 2 of every card. You may have 5 of a player who doesn't sell that's not great. But just know that as you're adding quantity, there is a limit to that. Also, if you're a brand new seller and you have seller limits, then you may not be able to add up to 500. As your seller limits increase, you should be able to add more. All right, now this page is finished. We added our different variations. We added the main photo for the listing, which is going to show up on the original screen here in a second. We've used the default and we added a photo for each individual card. And then we added our quantity for each card and the price for each card. If you mess up in the price, like if you forget the decimal point, or if you use a number that doesn't exist or something that's not a numeric or a financial value, you will get an error at the end when you try to save the final listing. But I'm going to save this screen, and then that takes us back to our original listing. What I'm going to do is pull a default description that I use for all of my sports card multi-pick listings. And you can do that by just scrolling out and going to any other one of the listings, going down to the description screen, copying it, highlight, copy, then go back here to your main listing and paste it. And then that's pretty much done. I'm going to close that window so my internet will not lag. Now, for the description I put in bold in the top line. Please read item and discount details below. That's something the buyer can see from their cell phone condensed view, and that kind of prompts them to open up and see the entire description. And then cards are in near mint condition or better. Volume discounts apply in your card as follows, and I list my discounts that I'm going to give for buying multiple cards. Ideally, you want buyers to buy multiple cards. That's what you're trying to do here. That's where you make profit. If you just sell one card and with the eBay fees and all that, it's very little profit. For my shipping cost, if you want free shipping, if you want a whole bunch of shipping, you can list whatever you want. I ship one card, standard envelope. I charge the fee of one card. I can ship up to roughly 4 cards at that same price. I can ship up to 12 cards in a 3-ounce envelope. So as long as someone buys a lot of cards, I'm making plenty of profit, and I can afford to pay that shipping with the packaging. I write in here cards can only be, or the can only view the discounted price after adding the adjacent number of individual cards to your cart. I do that because you want people to add more than one card. Then down here you get your volume pricing, where I promised 15, 18, and 20% off. So I can change that to 18. And this one will change to 20. And then for the shipping, you're going to have to change this to flat rate shipping in order to make it match. Or no, I'm sorry, not that one. That's standard shipping. This, you want to put your general details. Load the details shipping for one card, which is going to be 1 ounce. My envelope size is 7 by 4 and 1 inch. It's actually way less than 1 inch. This is the size envelope that you get for 1 to 4 cards, 1 to 5 cards. I use a larger envelope in 2 sections if there's up to 12 cards. Here is where I change to flat rate shipping. All right. And then I'm going to change the shipping type, change service, going from Ground Advantage to standard envelope. eBay standard envelope, insured up to $20. And then I write in the fees that I listed in my description, 68 cents. And then even though I'm not charging anything, I still have to type in 0 cents. Excuse me. And then from there, as with any other listing, you're going to make sure all your preferences are correct and your promotional rate. And then once that's done, you're done, and you will click list it, or if it's a revision where you've added cards, you will click on revise, and that's all. All right. I hope this was helpful to you. If you're interested in creating this type of listing, I hope this gives you enough guidance to go through and figure out how to get through those screens. My first time was a little complicated. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up. That helps to drive traffic to my video. Leave me a comment, letting me know how much you like it and the things that you enjoy. Please don't make fun of my internet. I can't help it. I live in the country. Ring that bell. Let me that way you will be notified of future content when it drops. But with that, this is Andrew. My business, my store, my channel is Good Water Pickers, where we find what you love. Have a good night.